Hello everyone, I'm Rob with this Missing the Black channel here at Ticker Talker, and we got a new month and coming into June here, and the final month of the quarter, and so we got some real tight ranges, and so we want to be aware of that. If you look at like almost any of the spiders and stuff like that, really ridiculous tight ranges. We got a short week too, and so SPY to start off the month closer to taking out the highs, Momo Hammer style after going into the highs, and then on the weekly here. The inside week, 2-week inside pattern. So that'd be something I'd want to know about taking out either side of this stuff. But on a daily basis, you can see just what a grind it is. You had your inside day, but then gaps up, comes back in. And so even though it's going higher, you can see the difficulty of trying to stay in here. But 3 of these last 4 days was either inside or lower than it opened, even though it tried to move a little bit higher. So we're just going to let them open there. QQQ. And you can see this daily range in here. Look at these 4 days. Barely moving. So if you go back to the monthly, you are closer to taking out the highs and then going back 2 up, 2 down, and going back into the highs. But you got a little bit of distance on that. And the weekly here did go inside week to the upside. So you're closer to taking out that week to the upside. We'll let them open. If you go to Apple, a little bit of a different story. Opening 2-week inside pattern or rev strat to the downside. And so here, Apple on the monthly, you can see this has been going sideways for months, doing nothing. And you are closer to taking out the lows of the month, so that's something I would be paying attention to on that. If you go to your daily, you'll see this here. Slight higher high and then coming back through the range. So Apple, see how that goes. If we go to small cappers, in the small cappers, once again, potential rev strat month, 2-month inside pattern. Couldn't get out of this month here. So we'll see. Are closer to taking out the highs over 227.40. We'll see if that comes around. VXX still bleeding out. And so when you get these boring markets, VXX likes to go down in that. So we'll see. Nice trend here when you got that reversal 2 up and then boom, all the way back down. So VXX still doing what it does. If we go to TLT, more tight rangers here would be rev strat month to the upside, but 2 months inside of this. So all that kind of stuff makes for vortexy stuff. And what I mean about that is you'll hear me say we like nice long red and green bars. And if we don't have that, oftentimes people will be looking at the shorter term time frames without realizing that things are just going to chop back and forth. So that's why we want to stay on the monthlies and the weeklies that are nice long red and green. And what we've been seeing is not a lot of that. Right? So we'll be aware of that. If we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, and Diamonds a little better. 2 months to the upside, still going. Weekly, 322, but this daily range has just been pathetic. These things in here, and you can see once again, tough to stay in because it went out, took out the highs of the week on Friday, but 4 of these days closed lower than they opened. So that makes for a real chop shop because it's going but conflicted the whole time. So if you go to Boeing, and Boeing. Potential rev strat month here. If you can take this up, a 2-month inside pattern, and that's why you get chopped up in some of this kind of stuff, right? But would be rev strat over 250, 260. Cat goes to the highs off the inside month, but really tight ranges. Inside week, and so we'll just see how these inside weeks start off here because you got Triple M inside on the week. You've got Home Depot. You got IBM. Here, all inside weeks and really stuck in IBM, also an inside month. So a lot of that kind of stuff going on. If we go to the transports, and the transports were a 2 up, and then on the week, inside week, so we'll see how that goes. And the concentration there pretty much got some rails inside week in CSX and Union Pac and Norfolk Southern. Like so, to see if we get any simultaneous railroad breaks. You've got United Airlines, inside month here, so that is what it is. You're closer to taking out the highs on that, but we'll see if the opening up trade comes around. If you go to car Momo Hammer month, and on the week you got an inside week, so we'll see if anything comes of that. Rider Systems backs off to give you this potentially monthly shooter below 79.55. If we go to XLU inside month, doing nothing, and we know that all this stuff's been trapped in here forever. If If you go to the weekly, a little bit weaker potential rev strat, but not much there. A little more interesting in that kind of arena would be VNQ. That went inside week to the upside. And if we go to the monthly and the REITs, you'll see this. Here, the big try and coming up to try and take out that high, right? The big comeback. And so the reopening trade might be some of the REITs here, because you got like AVB still climbing back up on this try and got some distance on that. You've got BXP still got some distance on this big old try after the inside month to the upside. You got short-term exhaustion risk on a lot of this stuff because it's just still walking up into the highs. But watching these bigger monthly charts can always help. And you've got Macerich coming out of the ashes here too. That's a meme stock too, so I might want to keep an eye on that with the REITs coming up. SLG also mounting up and still coming up in all into this range. Triple N here. Doji on the month, which is a bit of an issue, but if we go to that weekly, remember that outside week, then 2 down, then 2 up, so I want to see if this continues to try and triangle this thing out up to 49 would be a nice little move. SPG REIT also doing the same type of climbing up, used to be somebody's. We'll see if all that comes back. If we go to the financials, FAS, there's your big old try, took care of business. Weekly, just kind of stuck in here with KRE. Also, just look at this, 3 weeks, just stuck in there, but we'll see. You got PNC inside week. We'll see if anything comes of that. You do have Citicorp, once again, similar to those REITs, with a lot of the FAS taking out the highs of the triangle. That Citicorp had the inside month and now gunning up for that stuff. We'll see if that continues. If we go to Visa, and Visa inside month, we'll see what comes of that. You got MA, I believe slightly took that out to the month and then setting this up weekly. Potential 222 if they want to go take those months out. So we'll see if that happens or not. If we go to the tree, and Lending Tree does this, Rev Strat month here. And this has been a great monthly here with that 3, 2, 2 up, triangle out, then 2, 2 back down, then inside down, and now we'll see if that can come back all the way up to the greater try. If you go to VIRT, 2 up, 2 down, potential 2, 2, 2, and back up on the month. We'll see how that goes. If we go to Energy, XLE really stuck in here. So it hit its magnitude on the month, and that's all it could do by going 2 up, 2 down, and then taking that out. These became an outside bar of that, and that was pretty much all she wrote. Because then you got on the weekly, you see real tight range last week, right? XLE and OIH. So setting up for the months, you go to Exxon, and you see Exxon triangles them out up here, and it starts to back off. So in the monthly, you're closer to shooter down, back down. Chevron, the same, and Chevron, I believe, inside week, real tight stuff, like all that kind of stuff. So we'll see if anything comes of that. If you go to Devon, you're going to see a lot of inside weeks here, so real tight stuff. Devon, EOG, tries to go Rev Strat week to the upside, and on the month, here was inside month to the upside. We'll see. Fang Energy, inside month. Emirata Hess, one of your leaders over there, had a nice month, and now inside week with the rest of the gang. PXD having some issues here, and still ridiculously tight range week, but on the month right now it's closer to taking that shooter back down, so that would get my attention if the energy starts to sell off. SM Energy had a month and upper, used to be somebody up into here, now an inside weaker here. We'll see if anything comes of that. If we go to XEC backs off, and on the month potential would be Rev Strat month if they bring these things in. Slob and Halliburton, real tight ranges, hit their magnitude, and then on that weekly, just drying up in here. Halliburton a little worse, drying up into that. COG is one we can keep an eye on here. COG just because on that monthly here, inside week, more shoot if they want to come down and take more of this stuff out. If we go to XRT Retail, well, we got the GameStonker in there. Now you got 4 months inside of this thing. So if we take a look at the GameStop was nice off the inside month break last week over that 196.96. That was a real nice one. Problem now is how you're not going to be an inside week. All right, backed off on Friday. So you had that nice push off that inside month break. Boom. All the way up to 268.79 off that one break. That was good. And then on a Friday, you want to be aware. Look at that right here. As soon as it starts to go red, boom, we're out. Thanks for playing. And now you got your outside bar up in here. How are you going to get out of that range? That's what we're going to have to find out. If you go to Costco, and Costco weekly, inside week, month, here, shooter, but still tuning its way up so far going after the high. So we'll see how that inside week acts to start off the new month. Walmart still slowly but surely trying to tune its way up. Also a tight inside week here. Remember this try here, chopping them up. How do we get out of this? It's going to be dropping back through the try. You're trying to expand and use this as a consolidation pattern from this. Right, because this makes sure nobody's in. Right, you stop them out. So we'll see. Inside week for Walmart. If we go to Target, just a tight week, right? Smack on the highs, and like a lot of things on the dailies, doing nothing. So we'll see. Either side of that week gets my attention, though. If we go to DIN, pancake ass. 2-week inside pattern, not doing much, but it would be rev strat to the upside. And on the greater try, still trying to come up on this thing, and a lot of those reopeners have taken that out already. If we go to Dollar Tree, still having problems, and we knew about that. The 322, so a little bit more to try and take this out at 95.86. Would try they out on that. So we'll see how that goes. Because it had a gap and crap them. Gap and go. And so we'll see if they can finish the job. If we go to Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza would be rev strat 312, back up into here. Doji on the month was the issue here, and so you got some magnitude out of it. Was good. You just wanted to realize in general it was doing nothing. So we'll see if anything comes of the rev strat week. If we go to Foot Locker, you got a 3-1er on that. We'll see how that goes. You've got LB the same. You've got TJ Maxx here having some issues, and TJ Maxx on a monthly basis here closer to taking this out and becoming a compound 3 of that. So that would be below 66.32 would be TJ Maxx's problem. Tractor Supply, and just another inside week to keep an eye on here because it can move around, albeit a lot of things not do anything, but we'll see how they allocate the new month. IBB really doing nothing here, and you can see this. Oh, just stuck in here for forever. Forever. And so that gives you this monthly. Here, just stuck in here, not seeing too much on that. If you go to XLV, a little bit better. I went 2 up in the month, but then look at these ranges. Look at that. And if you look at UNH, inside week, and look at the daily range on this thing. Look at this. So that's a bit of an issue, so be careful on something like that. We do have Humana. Humana a little worse, potentially here. On the 2-2 month here to take that back down below 436.74. A little thin, but Molina Health as well. You can see a shooter. If we go to Moderna, Momo Hammer monthly, if we want to get out of all this range and take her in, back up into the highs. If we go to SGen, 3-monther to the upside, so we'll see if it goes triangle expando, and you do have this tight triangle business here, slight lower low, slight higher high, but you do have an inside week if SGen's going to come back. If we go to Tech, XLK, monthly, here 2 up, 2 down. What do we take out here? So we want to be aware of that. We know Apple's got the problems. Microsoft is an inside month as well. So that will have a lot to do with the XLK. So XLK would need over 140.73. If you go to SMH, tried to put that away. It came right back up to 250.07. So you're right there, and that got a lot of help from NVIDIA. We'll get to that in a second. Facebook, Momo Hammer month into new highs. So we'll see if that can continue. Amazon doing all sorts of nothing. Stuck in here forever, and now an inside week in the middle of nowhere. So we'll see if this triangle needs to grow eventually. So we'll see what that inside week can do there. If you go to Netflix, and Netflix, real tight range again here on the week. For the month, still got some distance. You'd need to take this out here. That 518.95, you're nowhere near that right now. So we'll see. If you go to Google, and Google, inside month again, Momo Hammer. So Google, we'll see if that wants to keep blasting. If you go to NVIDIA, NVIDIA took care of business. And boy, they got them good down in here, didn't they? And then if you go to the weekly here, that 2-2 reversal week, and then follow through into new highs. So just exhaustion risk by going into new highs. Was a real nice day on Friday off that RevStrat day. The 1-2, bam, and off she goes into the highs. Go to AMAT. And AMAT, a lot of these semis going to look somewhat similar here. Potential 2-2-2. If we go to AMBA, potential RevStrat, 3-1-2 back up here. Over AMBA would be over 102.58. If we go to AMD, hammer counter shooter after triangle these guys out. So AMD over 82, you can watch that with Xilinx. If you go to AVGO, here still closer to the 2-2-2 and into the highs. You go to Billy Baru, Billy, B-I-L-I, that'd be RevStrat month here, over 110.25. Cree, here, be RevStrat month, over 119.82. If we go to Crowd, 2-month inside pattern, because couldn't get out of here, but it would be RevStrat month above 225.92. Cyber having some issues, took that 2-2 month to the downside, and now weekly. Now you got an outside week and you got a shooter, so that'd be a 3-2-2 down, or all these three are inside of that, which is a little bit of an issue, but you would get my attention taking this out here below 125.37. If you go to Docu, and Docu not doing much here, but you got a nice big old daily try to keep an eye on here if it starts to go like so. There's your daily try Docu. If you go to Etsy, Etsy's staying down on this gap, and so had a rough month here on the inside month and down, and now to start new week, inside week, once it come back down through here and go down, triangle layout, measured move would be nice. If we go to EXPE, and EXPE, you can see a lot of these ranges really tight, just be careful of that, but the monthly here would go RevStrat month here over 180.05. If you go to Intel, hammer 3-2, and Intel over 58.01. If you go to Microchip, MCHP, once again, just another potential 2-2-2. MongoDB would be RevStrat month. MU here, just trying to hammer. You can watch that obviously with the semis. If you go to NXPI, potential the 2-2-2 and into new highs. Roku, RevStrat month. If we go to ZM, RevStrat month. If you go to Yelp, 2-month inside pattern would be a RevStrat here to the upside. And if you go to the weekly, potentially you can machine gun these guys, and that would be nice. If you go to TSM, still tight range here, but you got that RevStrat month to the upside. You go to W, and W took that down. You just months and months in here, but you do got potential weekly RevStrat if they want to bring her in. If you go to Teradyne, and Teradyne, more semi here, hammer counter shooter. If you go to Twitter, potential hammer, 2-2 back up on the month. W-Day, and W-Day had some issues on that month, and see these two became an outside bar of that, and then holds down though on the week. Potential will be closer to the 2 up, 2 down week to come down through all that stuff, and that's going to look like this on your daily. The gap down, the hold, the inside day to see if they can come down, triangle these guys out down into here. Just a few more. GRWG here. RevStrat month here over 44.53. You're almost there. If we go to IIPR here, also potential RevStrat month. If you go to JK Solar, hammer on the month, and it's been coming in for a while. We'll see if they want to pick that up. Lemonade, hammer month, not quite a RevStrat. This was a little lower, but you do have hammer month if they want to start to bring that back up. If you go to Lyft, another nice hammer there on the month for the reopening trade. How's Uber looking? Uber not so much, but we'll see. If you go to Neo RevStrat month potentially. If you go to Plug, hammer month. If you go to Peloton, potential RevStrat month. If you go to SEDG, hammer month rev strat. If you go to SGH, hammer counter shooter month. If we go to YY, inside month and down and going towards the lows of the month. Weekly, trying to see if we can take a little bit more of this stuff out, because see here, daily just drifting lower and now trying to accelerate. You got some exhaustion risk, but we'll see. If we go to SI, this is Bitcoin, and weekly, 2 up, and on the month, potential hammer if they want to bring that up. You can watch that with the Bitcoin. SMAR, rev strat month. Whirlpool, here, potential shooter if they want to bring it in. And an inside week to start off. And Tesla's. And Tesla's stuck in here. And so on the month, how are you not going to be an inside month is what I want to know about Tesla. So I want to be a little bit careful on that one, because we had that weekly counter, that 2 down, and just come back up in the middle of the range. And when you get that, we'll see, because we've seen a lot of things dry up, even Tesla. All right, well, we got a new month, so let them open. Short week, and let them open and see what they want to do. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith Black Channel here at Ticker Talker.